Cool. I'm live. Hey, what's up, everybody? It's Stacey Storino, the number one place, I think, for today's more mature entrepreneur to go when they are looking to do content marketing that converts. So, whether you're an influencer or not, no matter what kind of business model you have, it's important for people to click links and buy stuff, or you don't get your sales, you don't get your commissions, even if we're talking about affiliate income, or if you have a sponsorship deal and you don't get good clicks. You might not get another sponsorship deal, or you are very unlikely to be able to get more money the next time you go into a sponsorship deal. So it is all about content marketing for conversions because today's busy entrepreneur doesn't have time to just throw spaghetti at the wall and hope something sticks. So if you are interested in learning about content marketing that converts, this is a channel for you. I have been a coach for 10 years and an entrepreneur in total for 25. So I know a thing or two. I've been on both sides of the fence. I am who I say I am. I can do what I say I can do. Hey, Miss Marcy, if you're a student of mine, or even if you're not, hashtag live, hashtag replay. It is important for me to see who sees this stuff on the replay. If you have any questions on what I teach today, even when we go into replay mode, I do check my comments. So for sure, ask questions here. You can also join our free content marketing for conversions course, or not course, Facebook group. So Facebook group, content marketing for conversions. Hey, Jacqueline Vaughn, what's going on? Good to see you. And also pinned in the live chat / replay chat and in the description or show notes below is a link to the March Popularity Plan Mega Pack. So if you're a solopreneur, a small business owner, and you're like, I don't know how I'm going to be able to do all of my relationship content marketing on top of my straight up sales-based content marketing to keep my current audience engaged with me and each other, and also to get new eyeballs on my business. Because if you don't do any or much relationship marketing, I'm going to tell you, your feed is just going to be a bulletin board where you're posting product photos and a tsunami of sales announcements, and you're going to get little to no sales. Okay. Like, you'll be preaching to what little crumbs have converted you have. And this is all about doing a healthy blender balance of course, all the sales-based content marketing you're going to do. You're a business owner. I'm not saying do less of that, but unfortunately, to get more people into your marketing and sales funnel, you do have to do relationship marketing. So the 30-day social media growth challenge, and we're on day 26, so we only have 4 more days of live streams and replays. If you missed any of the prior teachings at all, whether you're in the challenge for prizes or not, we do have the playlist in the show notes below so that you can get up to 30 days of coaching. A lot of days are about 15 minutes or so of coachings, but sometimes y'all show up with a bunch of questions. We go a little bit longer. And again, you can comment on any video of mine where you have a question about that video, and I will definitely help you. So this is not like a follow for follower engagement pod. When you come to me, you're a business owner and you want sales. You're not going to get sales from a bunch of people just stacking the deck for you, because almost none of them are going to be your ideal customer anyway. It's all about attracting real people who are qualified leads to your business's presence on social media, YouTube, what have you. So those things are never any good, and they don't have anything to do with the challenge. Again, if you're in the challenge for prizes, make sure you go into the Content Marketing for Conversions Facebook group. And make sure you find today's post and you post the screenshots of your analytics, because you all are growing in terms of followers, views, watch time where applicable. People are reporting that their email lists are growing. And yes, people are reporting sales too. And you can definitely search in that group to find posts and references where people are saying such things. Okay, so today we are talking about dumping shame. That's like a big thing. And I find it with not so much men and not so much Gen Y or millennial business owners. I'm not saying it's impossible, but I've been coaching, like I said, for 10 years, full time for 8, for content marketing and business coaching. It is typically, but not always women, and it is typically, but not always older women who, at some point along the line, when they are posting content on the daily or at least a lot more regularly, and they're emailing their list at least once a week so that they stay top of mind, that they're serving up like value to their people with every email that they send out, and really every social media post that you post. um, but after a while, like Gen X to baby boomers, they get very uncomfortable after a while. They feel like maybe they're posting too much. They feel like maybe they're being too pushy by emailing their list once a week, two, three times a week. And I can tell them analytically, hey, this isn't the gospel according to Stacey Storino. Go look up the Google, go Google the stats on, when you email your list weekly versus maybe several times a week. That's actually even better if and when you can switch, swing into that. Maybe that's a stretch goal for you, but weekly should be a minimum to keep that email list engaged. If you email them once a month or whatever, you're going to get more unsubscribes than not. And when you first go to warm up that email list, you're gonna probably get more unsubscribes because people forgot who you were, or the trail's gone cold. They don't care anymore, right? You got to keep people. You got to share if you care, right? So at least once a week, if you put out a YouTube video, if you put out a blog post on your website, if you do a podcast, or you go on Facebook or Insta, you do a live, and then it goes into replay mode and you optimize it. Facebook, especially, it's super easy to share the link to your replay, or you can share the replay on Insta as like a longer form video. You should email your list once a week and have something of value to give to them. So you're talking shop with them about either the pain point that they have, which would bring them to a business like yours, to buy offerings like yours, to get out of pain and into pleasure, and or talk shop about their passion point, what they're passionate about. Are they passionate about fashion or skincare or beauty or energy or whatever? What are they passionate about? Are they passionate about, I had a student once that did these little, like, oh, I'm going to mispronounce it, Sansky eggs. There's these little collectible eggs. And, she's like, who needs these more than, like, say, Easter and Christmas? I said, come up with like a collection that you launch and retire every month. Have one for every season, one for every holiday. Her income went up. Her income went up because she found that there's a passionate sub niche or niche. You say it either way, depends upon your accent, niche or niche. She found that there's a very passionate sub niche of collectors who, have disposable income that like to collect these things, right? So, like, you never want to prejudge when you're prejudging and saying, I feel pushy for selling. I feel pushy for selling more than once a month, or really just a couple times a year. I feel pushy with the concept of publishing content on the daily or like close to it because nobody's perfect, right? I feel pushy about emailing my list at all, or once a week, or more than once a week. And I know analytically, Stacey, I can Google the stats and I can see actually overall, the more I email the list over time, the fewer unsubscribes I get, the more engagement I get, the more opens I get, the more click throughs I get, and yeah, the more sales I get. But I can't get over feeling pushy or uncomfortable about content marketing. And like I said, men can feel this way. It is mostly women. And younger people don't tend to feel as bad. They're digital natives or close to it, and they're used to just binging on content they like. So if they're going to do content marketing, they're talking shop through pictures and videos and, graphics and all sorts of stuff, memes. They're just talking shop with people who, have something in common that they like too. They don't feel as ashamed as like women, older women, Gen X, baby boomer women, where we act like we're wrong or bad for wanting to attract more people to our business. So what can I say today that would help you to dump shame about marketing, content marketing, email marketing on behalf of your business? What can I say that isn't analytical and is more emotional to you? So that not only can you keep up with this challenge, it's only 4 more days of posting on the daily and sharing, if you want prizes, screenshots of your analytics on the daily, showing that you posted and that there has been growth, however it's been. What can I say that's going to make you feel better? I have something I want to say, but in the comments below, especially on the live, but yes, even on the replay, I do want to know, why do you feel so ashamed about talking shop with people about helping to solve their problem? My paid students, we often talk about the concept of the intersecting interest. What is going to be an interest that somebody has that's going to intersect them or connect them through their content binging to a business like yours with offerings like yours that are meant to solve their problems or at the very least satisfy their desires, right? What can I say to make you feel better about finding other like minded people? Because in many cases, that intersecting interest is going to bring more people who are just like you. Not in every case have I had students through the last decade of coaching who they're their own best client, or once they solved their problem or learned how to satisfy their desire, they had a natural desire to serve other people with their talents, right? Not everybody is their own ideal customer, but a lot of times we are. So it's like, why do we feel so bad about helping people get out of pain and into pleasure? Why do we feel so bad about that? So Marcy says, so I went to check and I have 15 new subscribers on my email list a couple a day. Thank you for sharing that, Marcy. I really do appreciate that. That's vulnerability, it's transparency, it's good leadership. And quite a few people, both in the Facebook group and emails to me, messenger to me, a little bit in the DMs too. People have said they've been getting sales, they've been getting email subscribers. And the cool thing about email subscribers, Marcy and everybody else watching this live or on the replay, is 60% of people who opt on to an email list want to be sold to. Now, they're going to buy from you once they're ready, willing, and able to, but that's like a driving force for them to get on your email list. They want announcements, product drops, digital product drops, new services, coupons, deals, steals, BOGOs, free shipping. They might want advanced time to shop over people who aren't your email VIPs. There's a whole bunch of different ways when you are talking on a live or replay. You have a call to action at the end of a video, the end of a blog post, in your post copy, where you should be mixing up calls to action. We talked about this yesterday, so I'm not going to get into it again today. Again, the replay list is down in the show notes below. But we talked about this quite a lot, about mixing up the different calls to action and how do we determine what calls to action go with what types of posts, go on what types of days. So make sure you check out yesterday's live stream for more information. But what that means is that disproportionately, Marcy has grown the amount of people who are more likely than not, sooner or later, going to be customers of hers. Because if somebody's willing to raise their hand and get on your email list for your great coupon, your great freebie, or sometimes both, if your opt-in bribe, your ethical email opt-in bribe, speaks to that pain point and or that passion point sufficiently, you'll get people on the list. If someone's not willing to get on your email list, I would argue that in most cases, they're not going to buy from you. So if people aren't getting on your email list, it's typically for two reasons. One, possibly this was the case for Marcy. You're not publishing a lot. You're not appearing on people's radar screens a lot. You're not being discovered a lot. And or the people who have already followed or subscribed to you, you're not top of mind with them a lot. And so they're less likely to go sliding down that ADA funnel. And again, we talked about the ADA funnel quite a few days during this challenge. Or so you're not like appearing enough with calls to action, at least sometimes, that specifically say get on my email list. The other reason why is your email opt-in bribe isn't good enough. It's not enticing enough. So if you're a products-based business, let's say even an edible products-based business like Joe's Dairy Bar and Grill, I've said, and you can Google why, 20% is the minimum or the floor for the discount that you put down to really get people to opt in. If you're a coach or a course creator, it could be a checklist. It could be a quick free webinar. It could be like a 2, 3, 5 day, video series that's free. Mr. Beast built his email list for Feastables. One of the main ways that he did it was said, get onto my email list and you'll get access to a YouTube video that I will not publish publicly. He gave them I think an unlisted link to the video. Well, if you're a diehard Mr. Beast fan, you're going to get on there because you love all his stuff. You want to consume it all. And this is something that not just everybody can get. So even influencers and creators who are like, I might not make my own merch. I might not have Beastables like Mr. Beast, or I don't have merch yet. Who cares? You can still drive them onto an email list. And then when you do have stuff, you can sell to them, sure. And, or if you have affiliate links, you can drive them to an affiliate link once or twice a week, and explain why they would, care to do so in the first place. I guess it was late, but I'm really interested. Well, that's really good. I'm glad that you're here. You definitely want to hit the replay list because it's going to be ultimately 30 days of free training. And you're welcome to join the Content Marketing for Conversions Facebook group. When you are accepted into the group, at the top of the group feed is a files tab. So you just tap or click on that. You'll have 2 freebies that will help you with your content marketing, which is really good. You can also get a 3rd freebie, y'all. Talk about email opt-ins. I have a free guide that will help you increase conversions, whether you're an influencer or not, whether you're looking to be a guru or not. Don't be a fake guru.com. That has 10 different things that you need to be aware of so that you as a brand, no matter what you're selling and who you're selling to, looks more legit to people on the outside looking in. And that's a new opt-in for my email list this year. And yeah, I get people on my email list every single week. I have thousands upon thousands of people on my email list. I mean, granted, I've been in business for 10 years. I don't run paid ads. I'm an organic content marketing coach. Paid ads are good later on for folks, but could you imagine if I was running paid ads saying, hey, I'm an organic content marketing coach, but I had to pay to get in front of you? So the fact that I don't run paid ads, don't let that bother you. Later on down the line, when it's fiscally responsible for you to invest in ads every month to get paid reach too, that's good. But I would never say don't do organic content marketing because honestly, ads are becoming more expensive with less reach over time, and people can increasingly opt out of trackability for ads. So they're not going to get specialized ads served up to them. So I'm not saying don't do it, but organic content marketing, if you're optimizing with the right keywords in the captions and the right hashtags where applicable, and you're using keywords and hashtags that you can be competitive for, you will build your list. Even if it's just a couple folks every week in the beginning, because you're small and your email list is small and your algorithmic compulsion, which I teach about in Funnel Dynasty, is small. So I'll put out funneldynasty.com. That's my big offering, one-on group coaching almost every week of the year, 7-module course teaching you soup to nuts about your brand and going and weaving that into content marketing. And it's called Funnel Dynasty because ideally, every single piece of content you put out, no matter where it is and what format it's in, should serve as its own mini little funnel. Is it getting you more followers? That's great, but you can't deposit followers in the bank. But you do need some social proof, and you do need a brand-based community. Is it getting more people on your email list? Because those folks, again, are 60% getting on there for the main purpose of being sold to. When they're ready, willing, and able to, they'll buy from you. And around 3/4 of your income from month to month really should be coming from that email list. The other 25% is from a well-optimized website or your social. Your social is good to get people into and through quite a bit of your funnel, your overall AIDA funnel or marketing and sales funnel. And are you getting people, of course, to buy from you? I'm not saying you'll never get sales directly because of your social posting. Of course you will. And the bigger your brand-based community, the more they are communicating with one another and you with them and them with you. Yeah, everybody wants to go to the nightclub where everybody's partying and having a good time. Everyone's getting a contact tie, talking shop about their pain point or their passion point that they all have in common. And before you know it, they're selling each other on your stuff, whether it's events, it's services, it's products, it's courses. I don't care what it is. Hey, Ruth, what's going on? Hashtag live, but I'll go back to listening to the beginning later. Yep. We're talking about dumping shame when it comes to email marketing and content marketing. What I say for the one goes for the other. If you're all paranoid, schizophrenic about bothering people, here's the thing. They came to you because of a particular intersecting interest, a problem they want to solve, a passion that they want satisfied. Collectors, they can't get enough. They'll collect something every single month, like those Sansky eggs that I was talking about before. Let me see if I can get the spelling of it. Yep, the Stansky eggs. I am totally saying it wrong, I'm very sure. But I had somebody come to me for one of these. That's all she wanted to do was create artwork and sell products. There it is. I gave the spelling. P-S-Y-A, I'm sorry, P-Y-S-A-N-K-Y. Sansky eggs. And she said, haha, good timing. Yeah. And she ended up selling a whole lot more instead of being all apologetic. Like, who the heck wants to buy these things more than Easter and Christmas? Okay, that might be her two biggest, seasons. Just like Joe's Dairy Bar and Grill is like, okay, we're busy in spring and summer, but gosh, we should just close in the fall because who wants to go to a roadside stand that's not even 800 square feet on the inside and has picnic tables on the outside? Well, gosh, golly gee, I don't know, takeout, delivery, cakes, designer desserts, mini catering. Like, what? Are you kidding me? Now they're open 12 months out of the year. And within 2 years, they went from barely profitable 2015 into 16 into $1 million business plus since I want to say around 2018. So it took them about 2 years, but of course they had big jump ups as they went. Email marketing was huge. Every time they send an email out, it's like printing money for them. It really is. Pizanski. Thank you, Marcy. I knew I was slaughtering it. So you guys, you don't have to tell me in public, but if you want to share your feelings before I sign off, I'd really appreciate the vulnerability and the transparency. And of course, people on the replay are welcome to do it too. Please tell me, honestly, why do you feel sheepish or at all like gross about selling to people? You're not peddling trash. God or the universe gave you these talents for a reason. You're going to hide them under a bushel basket. You're not going to do anything with them. When we worry about feeling sheepish about marketing, we're worried about ourselves more than we're worried about the people that we are meant to serve with our business. So dumping shame in terms of being an entrepreneur in like a global sense, but usually how it crops up is, ew, you want me to email my list like daily? Well, at least once a week. Otherwise, you'll get more unsubscribes when you finally do kind of go to at least 2-3 times a week. That's going to happen, okay? Because they're going to forget they even subscribed to you in the first place, and they're going to be like, bye, I think I got spammed. You're actually going to get people who are angrier with you. So if you're like, oh gosh, I have a list and I haven't emailed them in a year, nobody's saying, just brace for impact. When you start emailing them once a week or more, you will probably get more unsubscribes for 2-3 weeks, but it will end up subsiding. And then the email list you build from there on out will be a lot healthier. This is also good advice if you're looking to pivot, even if your pivot isn't huge, but especially if it is. Some folks will stay with you on the journey. I've had people go from like wooden bread boxes and stove covers to, oh, I suddenly want to do candles. Okay. And they did it. And I warned them, it could take you 30, 60, 90 days of having people drop off your email list more than get on. But if people are getting on your email list every, day or week at least, cool, you're going in the right direction. But get ready to see a lot of red in your analytics, a lot of negatives for a week, a couple weeks, up to 90 days. If you are still hemorrhaging out red, after a business quarter, we really need to talk. It didn't even take them more than like a month-ish to get the worst of it behind them, to go from something that was totally different to something that is now, they're like, I don't want to say exactly how much they made because they talk about it in the student group, but they don't talk about it publicly. But if you're in Funnel Dynasty, you know who I'm talking about. And they're looking to do $250,000 this year because now they have wholesale accounts for their candles as well as what they do retail. And, it was a yucky month plus as they pivoted, but and to be fair, they weren't emailing their list barely at all when they had the old list. So a lot of people were like, who even are you? And were mad. But you get through that ugly period and you keep going. So Marcy says, I seem to have, Jacqueline's own. I love selling to people. Yeah, Jacqueline, I'm pretty sure I know your business and what you're doing. And I'm very proud of you. Oh my goodness. You are a star girl. And then Marcy says, I seem to have trouble getting an email out even twice a month. And now I wonder if it's not just the time that it takes to make them, but also some of the shame. It's almost always the shame because let's face it, you can find all sorts of time to go binge watch something. You can find all sorts of time to nap or take a bath or go for a walk with friends or whatever. We always can find the time, even if we have to make it in super hustle, but we will do it. And it will feel more like eustress, which is positive stress, as opposed to distress, negative stress, because everything's going to be a stressor on your body. We're not just floating around on clouds. Of course, you want more eustress than distress. So it's kind of like that second wind or that excitement. Can she do it? Impossible, you say. That kind of excitement. Wow, I got to get this email out. Boom, but you do it. And perfect's the enemy of done. You're going to do the best job you can, but you're going to get it out, right? That's why something like the popularity plan, not to but yes. That's why the popularity plan packs every month are good, because you get at least 4 templated emails, swipe file simplicity, fill in blanks, tweak the language if you need to, and one's assigned to every week of that month. It really is. Can you put sales information in a PS if you happen to also have a sale going on? Sure. Can you add more to the email? You can do whatever you want to it. But when you get the popularity plan packs, the one thing you can't say is it's going to take me, forever. I'm not going to be able to get an email out to my list every week. So some solopreneurs or small business owners are like, the reason why I don't get out more is because of time. And this helps me and I do it. Where you start to realize it really is more shame and more distress as opposed to the eustress and finding the time bandwidth and the time is when you have something like the popularity plan and then you just don't use it because like that would save you a ton of time, right? So, but Jacqueline's coming from a healthy mindset. She's got her gifts, she's got her talents, she loves what she does, she loves who she does it for. And so it's like fun. They do say when you're doing what you're meant to do for a living, it never really does feel like work. That's a little too simplistic, but I think the general gist is true. So Ruth says, okay, not too bad so far. I opened my campaign to see my email responses. 317 on our list currently. Set less than 3 hours ago. 67 opens, 24 bounces, 2 unsubscribes, 11 click through so far. Yeah, I think that's pretty healthy. When it comes to e-commerce based emails, which would be the bulk of what you're sending out, right, folks? We're businesses. Even if you have a brick and mortar, even like Joe's Dairy Bar and Grill, we have takeout and deliveries. So we're taking in a lot through e-commerce. We're running people's payments, through inboxes, even DMs on Instagram and Messenger every week. I will tell you, so that's a level of e-commerce too. A 2% click-through rate on a link, especially if somebody knows that it's going to take them to a sales page, that's wonderful. But even if they're going to click to go to your blog post for the week or a YouTube video for a week or a link to a Facebook Live that you did on your business page and you demoed something and gave them a quick tip, trick, or technique, think to get that link and drive more traffic to it, right? 2% is a really good open rate. 2% is a really good click-through rate for e-commerce. Anything above that is wonderful. Keep it up. When it comes to the bounces, you need to clean them out because they are either dead, their accounts are closed, or they haven't opened their emails in so long. It's just too long. They're really not there on your list anymore. So that's absolute dead weight. Get rid of them. And then your unsubscribes. Here's a quick warning, folks. Just I don't care who your email service provider is. If someone unsubscribes from your list, they're not off your list yet. They may very well still be getting your emails. You have to make the decision, even with something like MailChimp, when you see unsubscribes, to either archive them or to just straight up delete them. So please check every single day. You can look up the Can-Spam Act to see how long is a reasonable period of time to wait on these things, but you cannot just let people hang out on your email list after they've unsubscribed without cleaning them out. They will get pissed if they keep getting emails from you, and they will report you as spam, and that's going to make your spam score go up. And not only will your deliverability suck, but you could lose your email account. So I'm just going to say, not to Ruth specifically, but just to everybody, your bounces, those are dead accounts, especially with MailChimp, for example. You can't even archive those. You can just delete them because the presumption is they're dead. They've closed out the account, whatever. You can't archive an account that's not live. Valley Smithy or Mike. Hello, Mike. He says, biggest problems is past traumas, lack of family support. As soon as I post something, they see it and they run to tell me how wrong I am. Oh, Michael, I hope you're still here. And whether you use OO or not, Ruth, 2% is good. So anything above 2%. And Marcy says, okay, you were right, Stacey. And Marcy says to Valley Smithy, my husband used to run a 1890s living history museum. So I hooked him up with your info. Oh, that's cool. So Marcy says, wow, my family has ignored me mostly for years, but this year they bought my books. Maybe they think I finally figured this out. So, okay. Michael, you're not the only one, okay? You're really not the only one. I will tell you that my family thought 10 years ago that I'd lost my mind. I'm an attorney. I still have a license to practice law. I have not taken new clients since December 2016, but I do a little work in the background for the clientele that I still have. But people were like, why? You used to work for a law firm and you used to make six figures and I don't understand it. Why are you doing this? The first thing I would say to Michael or anybody, so I've been there is the whole point. Me is dull. Who cares? But Michael, I'm just saying that to say I've been in your shoes. People critiqued me. I had friends that I was on my kids' PTA with who came to me to my face because they followed me on Facebook. We were like friends on Facebook. And they saw that I'd occasionally post a YouTube video there. And they were like, who needs to hear from somebody about this? I don't understand. Who needs to hear from somebody just this much to my face? I immediately unfriended them. But, the first thing I would say to Michael or anybody else is this, and you can Google the statistics on it. Most people on planet Earth are not entrepreneurs. Entrepreneurs are a very small subset of humanity. In a global sense, it doesn't matter what kind of entrepreneur you are. We can lump all of us together, and we are a very small subset of humanity. What makes us tick is going to be, at least professionally, will be very different than what makes most humans tick in a professional sense. So get ready for most people never being able to figure you out on that level. So that's one thing that I'm going to say. They may never understand it, and they may be very afraid or critical because they don't get it. They just don't get it. That's not how they live their lives. And it's kind of like an Ivana Trump sort of statement, living well is the best revenge. Having a business that's healthy and happy and whole is definitely the best revenge. So I know it's easy for me to say tune it out, but that's still good advice. Also, and I said something too for those people who know the Renee Christine clan. Adwa Cooper is one of her students, and Adwa and I became friendly. She has a business, Adwa Design, ADWOA design, all one word.com. And she does like this very specific type of craft. And so Adwa and I were having a conversation at one point where she said, I don't get it. My business is successful. I'm happy. I love what I do. I love who I do it for. And my family's like being ridiculous with me. She's like, does that happen to you? And I told her yes. But then I said to her, think about it though. How many members of your family really are your ideal customer avatar? To which Adwa was like, none, honestly, none. And I said, so they don't need to understand your brand or what you do or why people would pay for these little crocheted dolls, and especially the amount of money that you charge for these crocheted dolls. Stop explaining yourself to people who aren't paying your bills and aren't going to be your customers anyway. And she was like, oh my God. She goes, immediately, that was like a seismic shift in her thought process. Not all of my students are products based, but I know a fair amount of them are. So I figure giving you an example like that might help. So Mike, did that help you? Anybody else listening to this, did that help you? Can that help you to dump shame is to understand that just being an entrepreneur of any kind, whether you're a creator, you're an influencer, you have a products-based business, you're a coach, course creator, you're a services-based business, you sell food, you sell anything, you are a minority of humanity. Most people are going to pick a 9 to 5 or like a steady job or whatever to get a steady paycheck and to get benefits. And there's something to be said for that. But you are just made differently. This is how God or the universe or the wheel of fortune turns you out. So you should just go with the grains of your wood and just understand when people are critical, when they're second guessing you. I know it's harder when it's family and super close friends. I know strangers is one thing. You have to understand they're not made like you. And what you're doing just doesn't compute with folks like them. And it doesn't have to, especially when they're not your ideal customer anyway. When it comes to your business, the only people who matter are the people who are, or at least they should be saying, take my money. Yes, this was helpful, said Ruth. And Mike from Valley Smithy said, yes, it helps hearing this. Thank you. You're welcome. All right. So this was basically all the goodies I was going to give to you guys today. One other quick thing, especially if you're a student of mine, but even if you're not, I have been doing stuff with shorts where I have been taking, you can look at the short that I put out today, this morning on my channel. What the heck is it called? Let me go to the title of it. Content. Mr. Beast drop announcement tip. Right now, it's well over 1,100 views. And the likes are really good. So I'm very satisfied with that. Now, I'm not a Mr. Beast channel. I'm not an entertainment channel. I don't pretend I am. But what I want you to see the pinned comment and the description has a full video where I talk about where I drive that shorts traffic to a longer form piece of content on my channel. And it's the longer form piece of content is called Mr. Beast D's Nuts Feastable Product Launch Series. So especially for my product-based people, digital products, tangible goods products, edible products, whatever. If you're doing a product drop or a product launch, that longer video about Mr. Beast and how he did this with his Feastables chocolate bar, the most recent flavor, D's Nuts, which I even talked to you about why he picked that name and why that matters to you. You should see that longer form piece of content. But do notice how I strategically drove people from the short, which is over 1,100 views, to the longer form video, which initially only got like, I don't know, a dozen views or something like that. because the algorithm isn't going to associate me with Mr. Beast. So it's not going to push that out a ton. But now I'm up to over 110 views on the longer form piece of content, which is good because I get more watch time and that helps me get in the partner program. Or if I'm in it, to stay in the partner program, because that's just an additional form of income. And mama ain't going to say no, right? So take a look at that, because when you create a longer form piece of video, you should call out, like if there's 5 tips or you teach somebody something in a video that's longer form, just even a couple of minutes, how many up to 60-second snippets can you take out to repurpose as a short on YouTube, a TikTok on TikTok, of course, and as a reel on Instagram and Facebook via the Meta Business Suite? Who cares? Just post both places. They're both pushing reels quite a bit at this point, Facebook and Insta. You know, and then drive people. The call to action there is to go see the longer form piece of content, not just to make that longer form piece of content perform better, but that's where they're going to get all the good. So that's when they're even more, that's a good deposit into the bank of know, like, and trust. So the more deposits you get with some people, the more likely it is that they're going to get on your email list. My email list grew today like that, between the short and the long form content and the connection between the two. So I want you guys to kind of think about, how can I leverage shorts? Sure, like we said in previous days, to get more awareness of your brand and its offerings and its presence. But how can you get people interested enough to subscribe to you? How can you get people to decide that they want to get on your email list and then take action when they're ready, willing, and able to buy from you? McWan says, so how can you possibly create a good landing page? Ooh, that we can talk about. Let me tell you what day I'm going to do that. We still have a couple days left, but I don't have the order of the last 4 days memorized. Make sure, McWan, that you subscribe to my channel, click the bell notification to and select all. So this way you can get notifications when I drop shorts, long form content. And of course, when I go live, I'm just in Asana looking at my last couple days. I can talk about that on day 30. Yeah, I can definitely do that, because day 30 is going to otherwise be a nice wrap up day, but I'll have time to talk about the keywords that you use and leveraging SEO for your funnel, for your landing page. Because when you use the terminology landing page, I'm going to guess you're a coach, course creator, digital sales, individual services. I could be wrong, but it doesn't matter. It doesn't matter, because all kinds of different businesses can use ClickFunnels or a related type of funnel building or landing page software. So we can definitely talk about that and how you decide, what words you're going to choose, and what's going to help you in search, but what's also so algorithmically, but what's going to help you with the human beings once they do get their eyeballs on your landing page. Even the people who are already on your email list that you drive there, or people who are already following you on social that you drive to that landing page. Once they're there, you didn't need SEO for those folks. So, but still, what words do double duty good for SEO versus, getting a better conversion rate, getting them to say, you know what, okay, fine, I'm ready, take my money. So do show up for day 30. Make sure you're subscribed and you click the bell notification for that. And I think with that, folks, I've got somewhere I got to be. So I will talk to y'all later. Bye.